Hi there, I'm Dana with wholehealthdana.com. 2 years ago, I lost my husband to cancer, and now I am a cancer survivor. Not in the way that most people mean, however, those of us that have been left behind understand. We endured everything that cancer had to offer. We went through all of the pain and sadness and fear, and I am a cancer survivor. I have a health and wellness blog, wholehealthdana.com, and in my blog I try to address ways to reduce toxicity and inflammation in order to promote health and prevent disease. Basically, I've taken the stance in my life that I want to make healthy lifestyle choices now so that I never have to go through that horrible experience ever again. So this is my story to kind of give you an idea of how my blog came about and why I do today what I'm doing. So basically, I feel like I can divide my life into two sections, AC and BC. Now, BC is the largest portion of my life. That is before cancer. And before cancer, I lived a very ignorance is bliss kind of lifestyle. I believed in eating organic and eating better foods. However, I very often would opt for the non-organic produce because of price. I didn't buy the organic meat, again because of price. But I didn't keep junk food in my house. I didn't eat out at fast food restaurants. I ate a lot of salads, however they were loaded with a lot of ranch dressing. I ate a lot of pasta, bread, whole grains. I ate olive oil and butter instead of vegetable oils and margarines. I didn't eat frozen meals. I didn't eat meals out of a box. And we ate out pretty often. However, because we weren't buying junk food and we weren't eating fast food, I thought we were eating healthy. I thought we were making healthy lifestyle choices and that we were eating better than the rest of the world, I guess. And then came the second portion of my life, AC, after cancer. When my husband was diagnosed with cancer, he was diagnosed with esophageal cancer that had metastasized to his stomach and his liver. When he was first admitted into the hospital, they put in a port, they did a feeding tube, they did tattoos for measuring him for radiation, and probably some other things that I'm not remembering. And they began his first round of chemo, which was very aggressive and made him very ill. For about 2.5 weeks, he couldn't eat, he couldn't drink anything, he vomited all the time, he had diarrhea, he was absolutely miserable. Looking back on it now, I feel pretty confident in saying I don't think they expected him to survive that first chemotherapy. However, he did, and as soon as he began eating, it was right about the 21st day after his first chemo had started, and time for his second round. Second round went much better, and after 28 days in the hospital, he was released to come home. So life at home changed drastically. And for me, the best way to explain it is kind of like how a lot of people sell their homes. Right before they put it on the market, they make all of these repairs, they do upgrades, and all the things that they need to do to get their house ready for a sale. And in truth, they should have made these repairs and these upgrades beforehand so that they could have enjoyed them while they were actually still living in the home. But oftentimes what happens is they let all these things go and then fix them up for the new owner. And we kind of do that, a lot of us do that, in regard to our health. We don't make healthy lifestyle changes, we don't change what we're eating, and we wait until we get sick, and then all of a sudden we want to make all of these changes. And in reality, we should have made these changes long before we did, with the hope and anticipation that by making these healthy lifestyle changes, we would be more more likely to not get sick, to not get cancer, and to have a better quality of life. But that's not what most of us do. And so in the end, we make all of these changes and we want we want things to instantly change, and we don't understand that it took us years, maybe decades, to get where we're at. And, it's going to be a slow process. So right away we made a lot of changes to try to make some better choices, like we only ate organic produce and meat. Pretty much anything we bought into our home was organic. We started eating a lot of green smoothies. We used a lot of ginger and other herbs that are great for fighting inflammation and just overall great for our health. We started taking quality supplements. We only ate organic grains, breads, and dairy. And then we did an overhaul of the products that were in our home. We threw out deodorants and soaps and shampoos and cleaning supplies and started to reduce all of the toxic and chemical-laden products that are in our home that we were putting on our bodies and breathing. And so once again, we made all these changes and we thought that we were eating healthy. We thought we were eating great, in fact. And then we had good days, bad days, happy days, sad days, scary days, fabulous days. It was the ups and downs of cancer. Looking back, I can now see that we revolved our life around cancer instead of revolving cancer around our life. I mean, it was as if life stopped and everything revolved around his getting better, his having his chemotherapy. It all revolved around that. Instead of fitting cancer into our lives, we were fitting our lives into cancer. So he chose conventional treatment for his cancer. That's not necessarily the route that I encouraged, but it wasn't my choice to make. It was a life and death decision that he had to make, and I was here to support whatever decision it is that he made. So the treatments they were horrible. They caused, him to be sick, to have diarrhea, vomiting, even when he wasn't in the middle of chemotherapies. He lost his hair, he lost a ton of weight, he had fatigue, he was weak. Towards the end, he had a lot of muscle wasting. Oh, and don't forget chemo brain. And I can't even begin to explain to you the sheer amount of pain that he was in 24 hours a day. So just about exactly 1 year after his first chemotherapy, he developed a perforation in his stomach. Basically, the cancerous tumors had increased in size and broken through the lining of the stomach. And he spent about 2.5 weeks in the hospital. During that time, he spent, I think, at the first week on a breathing ventilator. They gave him dialysis, which is one of the most scary things I've ever seen in my life. And even after he got off of the breathing machine, he started to die, and it wasn't because he wasn't receiving the proper treatment. It really was just because he had given up. He didn't necessarily understand what was happening, why it was happening. I didn't understand that after I had explained it to him the first time that he didn't remember it, and so he stopped communicating with me. He was very angry with me. He blamed me for allowing the doctors to do all this stuff to him. And I was really at a point where he probably had a couple of days left, or I could make some changes. So on my 40th birthday, I enrolled him in hospice and brought him home in an ambulance. And on that day, he was so weak. He couldn't stand up. He couldn't hold his own weight. He couldn't, get up to go to the bathroom. He couldn't prop himself up in bed. He couldn't roll over. He literally could do nothing for himself. And I wasn't exactly sure how I was going to be able to take care of him. I just knew that if I didn't get him out of that hospital, that he would be gone within days. So during that time, for about the next month and a half, I took care of him. I got very little sleep. And during that time, he did improve. He got better. He got stronger. He was able to hold his weight, although he was petrified. So I still had to pick him up and bear all of his weight because he was fearful he was going to fall. He watched TV. We had good conversations. He got to the point, there were sometimes, he could roll around. He had a little bit of physical therapy, actually took some steps, and was doing really well. And I had hope. So about 2 months after his stomach perforated, he took his final breath, and my world changed forever. What I can say is I now live what I call the new normal, my new normal. And anybody who has lived through a situation like I have understands exactly what I'm saying. My life will never be the same. I will never be the same person I was before this happened to me. And while I can have peace and I can have happiness, my life is forever different. So it took me about 4 months after his death to slowly start functioning again. And at that time, I really started to educate myself, to learn what was in our food, what was in our cleaning products, our cosmetics. I started understanding what cancer really is and what treatment options there are available. How to make healthy lifestyle choices to prevent cancer altogether. And that's where my blog, wholehealthdana.com, came from. As I started looking at all the chemicals that were in cleaning supplies and cosmetics, I really had this great desire to start eliminating them. And for me, the best way to do that was to control it myself and make them myself. So I do a lot of do-it-yourself projects for like making deodorant and lotions, soaps. I make my own cleaning supplies, anything that I can make myself. Basically, I try to. I also focus a lot on healthy recipes that are anti-inflammatory. Another passion of mine is eating in a way that promotes good gut health, as well as is anti-inflammatory. I feel like by having healed my gut through proper diet, I have given my body and my immune system a huge break. Instead of every day eating foods that are causing inflammation and that are damaging myself so that my immune system is on a constant state of attack, if I give it a break, with the things that I can avoid, the toxicities and the foods that I can avoid, it's going to allow my immune system to remain strong enough to deal with the toxins that I can't avoid. Like when I'm out in public, there are things that you can't avoid. And so I'm just giving my body a break through healthy lifestyle changes so that I can remain healthier. And so I invite you to come along with me. Join me at wholehealthdana.com. You can watch me on Blab, on Periscope. You can follow me on Facebook. Check out all of my photos on Instagram. I'm all over the place. I do hope you would join me. Share my website with your friends, and together we can all make a difference. The more we share and the more we educate and teach our friends, our family, our loved ones, the more the word is going to get out, and we're going to have a healthier world. So thank you for joining me today. I appreciate you coming along and listening, and I hope to see you very soon on the blog.